Common ground for me is about the importance of public space. It is the very identity and the essence of a community. It is as old as society itself. In that sense, it's an enduring, important. So to raise the public awareness of that space, because I think we all take it for granted. This room here is about one project, and it traces the development of the idea of lifting a tower in Hong Kong above the ground to create a new space, a public space, a plaza. And through sketches, it shows the evolution of that idea from the beginning, through many variations. And it shows, through the eyes of different artists, photographers, the way in which that space has been used. It was always intended to be a civic space, but unexpected is the way in which it is taken over by a Filipino community, and it becomes almost an extension of the Philippines one day a week. In the way that this building here, for example, creates a public space, it gives something back to the city of which it's a part. So all the projects which I've been involved with as an architect, in one way or another, add something back into the public domain. But the important thing to remember is that the routes, the connections, the boulevards, the squares, the parks, all of these are the very identity of cities. Even a village, the high street, is a conscious piece of design, and it should be given the importance, it should be recognized as such. The other space is not so specific. It is about the celebration of public space and the debt that generations owe to each other over time from antiquity in terms of thinking about cities and communal spaces. So that is communicated through an experience within a space itself where people gather, because it is literally the gateway to the arsenale. And it communicates through images of public spaces. I invited artists, architects, critics, photographers from around the world to provide me with material. I can't describe my style. You have to describe my style, because there isn't a style. Because no two projects are the same. We don't have a formula. We have a belief in research. We have a belief in human needs. We have a belief that every project is starting from a clean sheet of paper, even though we build up layers of experience. My inspirations? Impossible to name, too many. I'm inspired by the work of any architect who produces good buildings. Some of those have names. Some of those buildings are good buildings, but we don't know who the architects are. I'm inspired by the work of engineers. I'm inspired by aircraft. I'm inspired by poetry, by paintings. The list of inspirations is endless and changes all the time. I think that architecture is a response to human needs. Some of those needs you can measure, you can quantify. So the building is a response if it's a cultural building or it's a building for a corporate headquarters, a museum. The building types are different, but they all respond to a human need. And a lot of those needs you can measure, but some of them you cannot measure. How do you measure the quality of light, the importance of view, the texture of a building, the way it makes you feel, whether it's welcoming or not? Those are the things that you can't measure. They're issues of the spirit, if you like, the poetic dimension. I think that it would be interesting as a Biennale to draw attention to that huge proportion of the global population who do not have access to clean water, to sanitation, to power, to energy. and to put that in the context of a world which is changing, where more people need more and more energy to have higher standards of living, greater life expectancy, lower infant mortality, more liberation, more freedom. That is directly related to energy. To put that in context, to bring that to everybody's attention, I think that would be an interesting Biennale. The power of architecture is that everything that we experience is designed. It can be designed well, badly, or in a mediocre way, but it affects the quality of our lives because we live in a world which we create.